Hunter Avallone and I have a rather interesting relationship. And that is, we don't actually have a relationship. Like, I've talked to him a few times, and, we've gone toe-to-toe on several different occasions on different topics, but I remember Hunter all the way back from when he had, 3,000 subscribers. I was one of his first, actually. And I watched him rise from a conservative commentator or conservative video maker, whatever you want to call him, into whatever sad, sorry state he's currently in now. I guess he's somewhat liberal, leftist, centrist. I don't know. But whatever he is, or whatever you want to consider him, Hunter and I, again, have gone toe-to-toe on several different occasions. It would be interesting for him and I to face off against one another on this topic, but I highly doubt that he would have the cojones, the spine, if you will, to face me once again. Because he's actually really bad at debating, as it turns out. Anyway, why are we here? Well, Mr. Avallone made a video about his general advice for helping lonely guys. And he falls into the same trap that very many liberal, leftist, bread tubers fall into. Again, I don't know if I should call him any of that stuff, but whatever. And that is, they come from the issue of male loneliness as if young men who are lonely are socially remedial. So they give them a lot of general advice to get them from being socially retarded, legitimately. I don't mean there's anything general, but socially slow, socially just lonely and never having any friends, no sense of style, no hobbies or anything of the like, into being, normal. Just being normal, just being okay, having friends, having hobbies. In fact, the entire summation of his advice, before we get to the section I want to criticize, is that
you need to prioritize you. That's what you need to be focusing on. You should get a hobby, and not just get a hobby like being alone in your bedroom knitting or something. Get a hobby that puts you around other people. Oh, don't just be yourself. Be the best version of yourself. A degree of confidence. That is also incredibly important. While you're prioritizing yourself and your own well-being, focus on confidence. Things I read was just fake it till you make it. And you know what? That worked. Because lack of confidence, unless it's stemming from a legitimate mental illness, is something that you can just stop. That is something that you can just stop doing. Now, ideally, at this point, you have gotten your priorities straight. You've improved yourself. You have a hobby that's put you out there and also put you around other people. And now you've made some other guy friends also. Friends who you can talk to when you're going through some shit. Friends who you actually have a connection with because you were willing to be vulnerable when it was the appropriate time and place. Getting out. Get out of your bubble. Stop staying in mom's basement. Go out with the bros, okay? But something else that's important is you need to recognize how you make good friends and how you make close and
all together. You get the ingredients of an alright guy. And if we sprinkle in just a little bit of kindness and consideration, we can kind of sum up a term for someone like this. I wonder, what term could we possibly grant to a man that has hobbies and friends and is a generally likable, nice person with some confidence? You think perhaps the term might be a nice guy? The very first comment that at least I saw at the recording of this video is one such as this: there is a difference between a nice guy and a good guy. My friend, what is that difference? Please, by all means, educate me. What is the difference between a nice guy and a good guy? I mean, it must be clear and obvious, so much so that we need two different bloody terms for it, whatever. My point is that this distinction that I opened up the video series with found itself here. In fact, Mr. Avallone opens up his video with actually this critique.
Something that comes up quite often when talking about going on dates is this girls don't like nice guys thing. You've heard that before. I know you have. Girls don't like nice guys. I'm just a nice dude. I tipped my fedora 5 times and she didn't even wink at me. It's not that girls don't like nice guys. It's that the quote-unquote nice guys aren't actually nice.
Don't worry, we're gonna skip to that section there. Like, make no mistake, that's why we're here, actually. But the point that I wanted to show you guys is the reason, or double up on the reason, why this video series exists. It is critiquing the need to separate good guy and nice guy from start to finish. It's more analyzing the fact that this concept is still being deconstructed when it really doesn't need to be deconstructed. It's a misnomer. Well, not misnomer, but it's misdirection from what is actually the problem in relationships between young men and young women. Well, I say actually the problem. There's plenty of problems strewn about. So let's actually start getting into it. Mr. Hunter will take us away from that section I just showed you guys, and I will respond as I usually do.
Something that comes up quite often when talking about going on dates is this girls don't like nice guys thing. You've heard that before. I know you have. Girls don't like nice guys. I'm just a nice dude. I tipped my fedora like 5 times and she didn't even wink at me. It's not that girls don't like nice guys. It's that the quote-unquote nice guys aren't actually nice. They're usually weaselly pieces of shit who are sucking up to the woman, telling her whatever she wants to hear in some desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, they get to see her take her pants off.
I know. If you're a fan of continuity, then you would have known that I had already kind of covered this whole thing in the previous video, right? Like, well, Zers, like, didn't we already, like, have a whole dissertation on the whole, okay, listen, let's sprinkle in a little bit more of the finer details in. So the first thing that we have here is always and forever this projection of subterfuge. This idea that these males aren't actually nice, and they're only just pretending so they can have sex with the woman, or whatever the like. Now, of course, again, this is a projection. There's a really big problem here. There's a really big problem here. Why is it that the young men who aren't pretending still come to the same conclusion? Well, how about that? What happens when there are young men who are nice people, who do genuinely love women and want to be in good, long-term, stable relationships with them, and they get rejected? Again, and again, and again, and again. What if they are actually really nice people, and they're just shy, and they're awkward? And even in their friendships with women, and when they try to court them, a girl that sat next to them in their class, or, and the girl that they saw at the library or something of the other, or some girl that they may work with, and they do become close, they do become friends, and he tries to court her, he develops his feelings, and he starts being nice to her and considerate. He gets taken advantage of. What happens then? What happens there, my friend? What about these young men who, again, are kind, they're sweet, they're loving, and then they get used by these young women? Now, of course, it isn't to say that this is an accurate reflection of every single male-female relationship. Of course not. Much in the same way, it's fucking stupid to say that this is an accurate reflection of every male interaction with women who then refers to himself as a nice guy. That these men are not individuals filled with such subterfuge and such deception, but that they are hurt men lamenting a frustration and a confusion that doesn't make any sense to them. You think that there might be a little bit more of what's going on here? But of course not. Because in order to have this narrative, in order to just completely remove the fact that women actually really reveal generally like their gigantic hypocrisy just in terms of feminism and in terms of their relationship to men, there has to be this whole bunch of woo and villainy ascribed to nice guys. Because nice guys challenge the reality of what women say they want versus what they actually select. If women did just select nice guys, if women really did like these men, it would be self-evident. It wouldn't just be self-evident, but nobody would be saying this. No one would be saying this because it would be absurd. Notice how no one is saying that women like purple-back dragons that breathe green fire. You want to know why? Because they don't fucking exist. So how is it that so many young men can come to the same conclusion? You think that maybe there might be some kind of through line in their relationship with women?
It's bullshit. Nice guys don't finish last. Sniveling weasels who are dishonest and just say whatever they think the woman wants to say, they finish last.
Well, no, my dear, it appears that they finish first, actually. I mean, you can be quite the, how do I put this, eugenicist that only wishes to use a woman's womb for your progeny. A true example of villainy. As is such, this lady decided to project into her ex-husband. Here you go.
Find you attractive and they like to be seen with you. I truly believe that my ex-husband never liked me. I don't think he liked my personality. I don't think he liked my sense of humor. I don't think he liked being around me. I think that he liked the way that I looked when I was by his side and the way other people saw him when he was with me. Also, I think he wanted to have attractive children, and I come from a fertile family. That sounds weird, but like everyone in my family has a bunch of kids, and he wanted a bunch of kids. So I genuinely think he married me because he liked the way I look and he wanted to use my uterus to house his children.
Okay, fine. That's not fair. We don't have all of the finer details of what's going on. She could probably just be embellishing it. And also, I mean, like, you know, that it's not an example of being a nice guy. Well, joke's on you, because if that's not an example of being a nice guy, then what would that suggest? It would suggest that being a nice guy isn't the problem. You can be not a nice guy and still be deceptive and want to take advantage of women. I mean, again, if we just believe her account that her husband legitimately didn't like her and just wanted her genetic quality as breeding stock, then it would appear that you don't need to be a nice guy to be deceptive. But here's the interesting thing. Why was her husband's deception allowed to shine through, but the nice guy's weaselly attitude wasn't?
And so when you say girls like bad guys, girls like jerks, there's a reason. There's a psychological reason as to why that is.
Of course, it's not technically liking. It's women select them, women pick them is a much more accurate statement to make. And the reason why is because you guys have to understand that women aren't always like masochists or emotional masochists that like wish to bring suffering upon themselves, because some of them are. That's not a joke. Some of them really are self-loathing and really hate themselves and really honestly believe that they deserve the misery that is granted to them by these awful men that they select. That does happen. How come no one ever talks about that? Because that would mean that women have a responsibility to protect themselves and look out for their own mental health. And well, we can't have that. So let's just blame men for everything, as we always do. Here's the thing. There are lots of reasons why ladies select awful men to reproduce with. The problem is, unless we start actually addressing why women are selecting these men and putting the onus and responsibility on them, complaining about nice guys and jerk-offs is useless. It's pointless. One does what women tells him to do. The other does what works. The problem at the end of the day is, who? I'll wait. I got all day. You might not have all day, but I've got all day. Actually, neither of us have all day, so we'll just keep going.
If you hang out with somebody who's a fucking asshole, and I'm not suggesting you guys be assholes, okay? I'm just saying, generally speaking, this is why it is sort of like this. If you hang out with somebody who's an asshole, and you're around them when they say, like, this person is fucking ugly, this guy's stupid, and then they tell you, but I think you're really cool, that hits different. Now,
oh, Hunter, it seems that you did used to pay attention to me. I don't understand why you had to explain it in such layman's terms, but perhaps your audience is just a bunch of morons that don't understand the concept of validation and feeling special. Because that's what that is. It hits different because it makes you feel special. Because you have no self-esteem and you have no ability to validate yourself. So when someone who's usually mean to everyone else, who disregards everyone else, selects you, oh so special flower, makes you feel good. Of course, the problem is that's a dumbass way to mate select, but you know, woe betide unto me that we well criticize women in their ability to make rational decisions, huh?
Who you recognize is honest, even if that honesty is not nice. So when that honest guy, the asshole, says something nice about the woman, she knows he fucking means it.
No. See, again, women are idiots if that's what's going on in their circuitry. If women are believing that just because a guy who's usually mean to someone is nice to you, it means that he's being honest, doesn't mean that someone who is nice to everyone isn't also still being honest. In other words, there is no dichotomy here. A nice guy being nice to everyone, being nice to you. First of all, let's just stop for a second and really think this one through. As just intelligent human beings, you and I. Okay, I'm the intelligent human being, you're a worm. Why would a nice guy lie about being attracted to a woman? Why would a nice guy pretend to actually like a woman? Why would anyone do that? We can assume because they just want to have sex with her. Okay. But wait a minute. How come but bad guys can't lie? They can be mean to everyone, but they can never lie. So if they tell you something, it has to be true because they were always mean to everyone else. That's nonsense. It's nonsense to assume that the nice guy is lying to everyone and isn't really nice. And the jerk off is mean to everyone, but when he finally is nice to you, it's honesty and not clear and obvious manipulation. He treats everyone else like garbage, but you are special. But that's just your own ego, because in reality, you're not special. And that's what's being tugged on for the ladies, obviously. The ladies are being tugged on their desire and recognition that they're not special. That's why it feels so good. The problem is it feeling good doesn't mean that it's rational or a good thing to indulge in. It doesn't even mean that that's a rational thought process to come to. How is it, again, someone who has poor character and mistreats everyone, then all of a sudden is nice and kind only to you? That's nonsense. It should be clear manipulation. If you can clearly see the manipulation of the nice guy, you should be able to clearly see the manipulation of the bad boy jerk-off archetype. But you can't, because he has something that you want. Which again is why it's unreasonable to criticize these two people. One does what works, the other does what he's told to work, but who picks the individuals at the end of the day? Again, I can wait.
So the answer here obviously is not be an asshole. Instead, the answer is be honest and be genuine.
Wow, it's almost like nice guys never are honest and genuine about their desire and love for Power Rangers and Transformers. Oh wait, that's childish, my bad. Wow, it's almost like nice guys are never honest about, their love for anime and cartoons and their desire to be like animators or oh, that's childish. Wow, it's almost like nice guys are never honest about the fact that, they want to have a traditional, stable, healthy marriage. That's misogynistic. Man, it's never, nice guys are never honest about nothing. And women never find 15 different red flags of which to find a discount, man. That never happens in the history of everdom.
Be a genuine person. Don't just say what you think she wants to hear.
The reason why this is such nonsensical, advice or even a response is, again, this is a concocted projection that nice guys aren't actually nice people, and that women only respect honesty, as if there are no other factors that might make that woman select that dude, withholding the fact that maybe the bad boy archetype is just more sexually attractive. Maybe women are just a little shallow sometimes. Heaven forbid that might be a cause. Or heaven forbid that maybe the young lady has abandonment issues and she's reliving the trauma of her father abandoning her through her relationships with men. Can't talk about that for some odd reason. Nay, women are actually kind, amazing, virtuous creatures who only respect honesty. For some odd reason, it's fine if the man that they're with is mean to other people, which you would think might say something about their character, that they're fine with being with someone that treats other people like trash. You think that might again say something about their character. But this criticism is silly. Again, silly, because you have to just assume that nice guys aren't honest people. And it's an unreasonable assumption to make that they're not honestly being nice to the woman, or they're not honestly agreeing with the woman. Don't get me wrong, some people do indulge in a lot of simmering sycophantic behavior, and it is disgusting. Yes, to that extent, you are absolutely correct. That it's annoying to watch someone suck up to you because it does feel unreasonable and just unnatural. Fair enough. But to project that this is the archetype in its entirety and that is the reason why women are rejecting it? No, it's not. It's not. In fact, most of the time, all the simps that are following all of the different Twitch women, the lifeblood that gives them success are all of those sycophants. Notice how they seem to have absolutely no bloody problem with entertaining those men and taking their money. Notice.
Women are especially really good at seeing through that phony behavior.
Oh, they are. I had no idea. I mean, it does beg an interesting question. If women are really, really, really good at being able to see through all this phony behavior, how do they always find themselves with all of those lying, manipulative men who ended up cheating on them?
Be the best version of yourself, and then be honest and be genuine. And then I would go a step further and say that you should be willing to be around people, even if you don't necessarily find them attractive immediately. So maybe there is a girl who seems interested in you, and she's kind of cool, you're not too sure, but she's not really your type, maybe she's not too attractive in your opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with just going on a date with somebody, even if you're not that attracted to them initially. Because as corny and cliche as it sounds, it is possible that you might like their personality.
And so, in conclusion, we find that it's possible for young men, after they've become the best version of themselves, whatever the bloody hell that means, to be around women that they don't find all that attractive and go on a date with her and then maybe find themselves becoming attracted to her over a period of time? How about that? So young men can date women that they don't find attractive and perhaps find themselves being courted into actually loving her for who she is. Do you not see the irony in such? Okay, fine. I'll spell it out for you guys. No one tells women to do that. No one tells women to date men who they don't find attractive. And no one tells young ladies that they can fall in love with a man's personality, his character, his virtue. In fact, they usually tell women the complete bloody opposite, to not settle. And just because a guy has all these different great traits, that doesn't mean that he's your person. And if he doesn't have the je ne sais quoi that you require, then you shouldn't stay with him. I do find it oh so very interesting that you can tell young men that they should give those nice girls a shot, but then have a dissertation as to how nice guys are actually manipulative individuals that are lying and weasels who only want to have sex. How about that? I don't think I have anything else to say about that point, so let's just wrap this up now, shall we?
There might be other qualities about them, incredibly attractive to you. And with that, you might even start to see that person as being more attractive.
The sheer stupidity of that advice, especially within this context, is the plight of the nice guy. It is the soul of the nice guy. It is what defines him. He is a man who is not that attractive. He does not have the X factor. He does not have the je ne sais quoi. He does not have the spark. He doesn't have the vibes. He doesn't have what that woman desires at first. And as such, being an unattractive individual, he still wants to be with a woman. So what does he do? He focuses on his other attributes. He focuses on his personality, his character. He's not attractive. But he hopes that if a woman gives him a chance, if a woman gives him a shot, then maybe, now just maybe, she will love all of him. That his looks aren't the most important thing. That him being unattractive isn't the thing that stops him from being worthy of being loved. That is the soul of the nice guy. What I find hilariously interesting is that Hunter Avallone, in his stupidity, could suggest the reverse to these young men. That they must give the unattractive young ladies a shot, a chance to show their character, a chance to show that they are more than just the fact that they're not an attractive woman. The truth of the matter is, I don't even disagree with that. I don't even think it's wrong. I do think that it is rather hilarious that we can only project that to one side of the equation and not the other. We can suggest to young men that they can fall in love with character and virtue and personality. Young women, on the other hand, they can't do that. Despite the fact that so much of our culture has told young men that they absolutely can. Interesting though, isn't it? In conclusion, there are a lot of really stupid things revolving around this topic of nice guys, jerk-offs, high-value males, men having a struggling, difficult time being loved by women and having long-term relationships with them. And it's never really helped by a lot of these people because they are so stuck on the surface. They are so stuck on blaming men and telling them that they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to change this, they need to change that. So much is placed on the hands and feet of these young men that they need to be different. But no one wants to suggest that young ladies need to be different people. Here's the thing. Subterfuge, villainy, deception is wrong across the board. So let's just say that. We don't need to say nice guy. We can just say awful person, fake person, lying person, because this encapsulates everyone. The bad boy archetype is probably more likely to be that deceptive liar. A high-value male that's spinning a bunch of plates and isn't upfront about the fact that he wants to play the field is probably more likely to be a deceptive liar. And yet, of course, we do not criticize them. Why is that? Because they're the desirable ones that women want. But nice guys, the men that women don't want, we can say that there's a whole bunch of different reasons. We can project and splash so many different negative attributes to men who just did what they were told to do. Be a good person. Be a respectful person. Be a kind person. Be a considerate person. They did everything people told them to do and it didn't work. And then after it didn't work, we decided to villainize them like they did something wrong. I gotta tell you, man. I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree, but that is probably one of the craziest gaslightings I think I've ever seen in my friggin' life. So that being said, I just hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, go and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.